Okay, we're back again. Got to show you some things that are pretty important, I think, and you're probably going to want to take note of if you're rebuilding one of these. You remember we were working on this heater core box, and we got that all back together. Cleaned it all up and everything. Cleaned the wires, the fan, the blades. Got all that cleaned up. Going to put it back together. They're pretty persnickety about how they go together, these levers. This is the heater valve control over here, you can see. But the thing that was really important that I wanted to show you, and let's see if I can get this right. If you can see, here's the lever over here for this box, okay? And it controls the defrost. And you see how easily that opens and fully? Well, when I took it out, it barely opened at all. It barely opened. I'm like, something's not right. And I must have put it back together 6 times, and it still wouldn't open until I finally figured out what was going on. I kept thinking I was putting the lever back in improperly, but what it is this is like, acts like a hinge. There's a rod that runs all the way through. It's not apparent. It bends down, and there's nuts on either side that holds it, but this rod actually goes inside this small channel here, and this is supposed to pivot on that, and it was just froze up. It was completely rusted up. And so you might want to look for that if you're doing one of these. I had to take a small screwdriver and a hammer and sort of open it up a little bit to where I could get oil down in there and free it up. And then, of course, now, like I said, it works great. So that's something to look for. If you're not getting proper heating or defrost, well, that could be your problem. So that's all back together. That's ready to install. The other thing is we got our repair panel put on our convertible top cover lid. I took out as much of it as I dared. I've got a couple of small dents. You can see them on either side. That'll have to be filled with Bondo. We epoxied this panel in. I didn't want to take a chance on welding because I didn't want to blow through this top, and I was afraid it would warp it even worse. So I epoxied it in place, and that seemed to work really good. I got tabs on the back side. Now on the front lip here, there's nowhere to put a tab on the back to epoxy to. So what I did was I did do some spot welds along the front, and since my welding is not the best, I put the fiberglass hair as a extra precaution on that. This actually shouldn't get any structural type of weight unless somebody sits on it again, because this is where the trim piece goes. So anyway, so that's ready to be repaired. The other thing we did was took the door apart. I know I'd been arguing with myself as to whether or not I really wanted to do that, but I'm glad I did. It came apart a lot easier than I really thought it would, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a real bear. I'm only going to do one door at a time, and that way I still have the other one when I as a model or whatever, a reference when I go to put this thing back together, because it does have that regulator in there with the wires and everything. I took lots of pictures, and hopefully won't have too much trouble, but probably the struggle is going to be putting it back together. As you can see though, it's in good shape. I'm really tickled with the doors. Now there was another mouse nest in there, and I strongly suspect that there'll be another one in the other door too. And so we had to clean all that out, but there's just a little surface rust on the sides. Nothing any serious. It looks like it is. Somebody put some kind of coating in here. I don't know what that is. It is the same color. It's the blue, so it makes me think it must be a factory thing. But it seemed to keep it from rusting. If you can look down here on the bottom, you can see here are the drains, the weep holes, and they're not rusted at all. That's a pretty good sign right there that it's in good shape. So probably what we're going to do is we're going to clean that out really good. I already got all the debris out of it. We'll clean it up really good, and then I'll treat it, not with PR15, because I'd have to take it down to bare metal for that, but just some sort of good rust preventative paint, and then probably put that sound deadening material in there. That I can't think of the name of it now. It's the same as we used on the floor, and we'll put that in there on the outside skin, and that'll help protect it in the future. So we got that done. You can see there was some rust on the channel in here. Not too bad. That'll clean up. Everything else is in good shape. Now we got the wind glass out, and of course obviously the glass. That's all be cleaned up. The window regulator, these felt scrapers, they need to be replaced. You can just take they've got some kind of a clip on the back, but if you can just take a mallet and a screwdriver and just gently tap those, you can take those out. You should actually do that first if you're going to take these out. I took those out first, then I took off the wind glass. There was 2 screws over here, and then you can start loosening things up, and it's pretty self-explanatory once you start taking it out. I took the door lock off as well, so we're down to the bare shell. Here's the door lock. I don't have the keys for these, so I don't know if that's why they don't work. I may take them to a locksmith and see about getting keys made for them. You know, let me know your opinion. I mean, it's a convertible. I'm not so sure how practical being able to lock the doors is, but on the other hand, we are rebuilding it and repairing everything, so we'll see if it can be done, if they can rekey them and get them to work or not. All that really holds that in place is this backing plate here, and I think there was 1 screw in there, and once you remove that, you can access it through this hole here. Then that pretty much comes out right away. So we're going to put new window regulators in them, new crank, new rubber. I think we can get these. I'm pretty sure these rubber stops from Midwest Bayless, I believe, has them. So all that's going to be replaced. Clean it all up, this channel. Probably put new hardware in it. I'm not going to put old rusty hardware back in there. But we'll clean those up, paint them, make them look good. Same with the glass. We'll clean the glass up really good. The glass is inside the house. I didn't want to leave it out here in the garage where it might get broken. So the other thing we got done is strip the hood on the car, the trunk lid, and as you can see, it's got a nice fit. Now, just so far, just did it with 36 grit, and I'll go back over that with 80 before I epoxy prime it. It's got nice gaps. It fits good. There's only a small dent. You can't really see it. It's in this area right here. It's just more like a ping. There was a little bit of Bondo in there, and so we'll redo that. The only issue that I can see is, if you can tell, you should be able to see that on camera. You can see that it dips down right there in the corner. And now it fits at the edge, but it kind of sweeps like that. It kind of bellies right there. And there's a framing member underneath it, an edge frame. So there's no hammer and dollying it from the underneath to get it to come up. And I don't want to push up the edge because the edge is a nice fit. So I'm a little bit still trying to figure out how I want to go about getting that out, attacking it. I don't know if maybe drilling a small hole with a screw where you can get like a puller on it. I don't really want to do that, to be honest. I'm thinking of, this is the idea I've got, is taking a hole saw and cutting a hole in the frame underneath there large enough to get something from the back side to be able to punch up, and see if I can't punch it up. I don't know how that would happen. To be honest, if you look at it, it almost looks like somebody maybe took their fist and hit it. Something fell on it. I don't know. But anyway, that's the only real body work I can see on the hood. Other than that, it's got a good clean fit. So it should go right back in really nice. So that's what we've been up to. I appreciate you watching. If you got any comments, love to hear them. If you got any opinions or questions, we're open to that too. So just keep watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you again soon.